And we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome into this video. Today, I will be talking about how to get a business loan in general, but most importantly, I will be going over end of month offers, what that means, what it entails, what you should do if you have an offer on the table. If you don't, what you're waiting for, and what possible outcomes are out there and so much more, such as updates, SBA, idle news, PPP, and a lot more. But first, before I get started, if you're here watching me on the live, give me a hashtag live in the comment section, please, so I know you're watching. And if you will be here on the replay, please give me a hashtag replay. So once again, I know the time interval you are here. Now, before I get right into the thick of things, I want to let you guys know how much I appreciate each and every one of you of what you guys are doing. You guys are taking action. I see it every day. Like just about 5 minutes ago, I responded to a gentleman asking me to help him get a business loan via email. And I just easily went in and just sent them an email back saying, hey, I have a few projects to attend to at the moment, but once this is cleared, I will get back to you after. And then I have a few things to do after this live is over. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you. It shows me you guys are taking action, not only by simply filling out those questionnaire forms, perhaps you've picked up some of my free resources, and most importantly, you're tuning into my lives and you're catching my content. Just earlier, I released a video on how to get a line of credit, which is a business line of credit. So if that's something you're interested in, I'm going to try to leave it in the description. If it's not there, go to the search feature, underneath my videos and type in business line of credit. There should be another one, I think, coming out tomorrow on that, how to get a 100K line of credit. If not tomorrow, perhaps another time. Appreciate you, Jordan. How are you doing? So what I want to get into in just a moment, like I said, and I have a few notes that I put here on my paper, just so I can follow in a structured format. So we're getting in and out of each category. There's a bunch of us who have different financials. And by that, I mean like funding details, such as what helps you qualify, and then vice versa, what helps you not qualify. So very deeply, we have to look at what our funding details are telling us, and we have to understand it at a core. And I think that's where I want to begin before I get into some of the end of the month offers, which is at the very top. What I mean by that is this term called fundability. I'm sure you've heard me say that. Maybe you've watched a video on it. I'll try to link to you that down below in the description, but more information will be there. So refer to it. I have things such as startup loans, grant opportunities, non-startup options, SBA related material, and a lot more. But what I mean by fundability is this keyword term that you use to identify what you can qualify for. Perhaps you're not fundable because you don't have a desirable amount of revenue, or perhaps you're not fundable because you don't have time in business, your credit score isn't where it needs to be, which I will touch upon in a moment. And there's a lot more, just like non-sufficient funds, negative days, bankruptcies, delinquencies, if any. And some of these can be gone and out of the picture within a couple of months, and then you can come back and reapply. Do you have a business checking account? Not a personal checking account that you're using for business. Set them aside. Don't conjoin them. I've spoken to so many people recently who are, one, trying to build business credit, and two, they're also trying to go and apply for different types of funding, but they get disqualified, they get disapproved, they get declined, the whole thing. And it's normally because they check creditworthiness. They will check to see how your personal FICO credit score is being handled, such as how much debt to income are you taking on, how many inquiries, you can only have so many in a year. A lot of the times it's like 6 to 7, 4 to 6. I want to say not 7 is kind of pushing it, but there's a lot of little features that lenders, underwriters, myself all look at before I ever go submit a file to a direct lender or before you go to a brokerage. So you need to understand these things at the core. And these are just some of the fundability details, not all of them. Hi, Veronica. How are you doing? I appreciate you. Thank you for leaving that in the chat. Welcome in. And you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this. I'm going to try to cut it off at 30 minutes and below. I'm going to do my best. Okay, so hang in there with me. I know you guys are busy. Perhaps maybe you're not. You're at home. You work from home. You're like, hey, there's a pop-up. I'm going to just watch this for a bit. This will be very helpful. And so what's very important for you to do is to understand how attractive can you become to a lender. Every day when I first got started, because I've been in your shoes, I know how hard it is just as a complete startup. I had a business plan, and I thought this business plan was going to help me get funding. And it was quite the contrary. I was getting declined time and time again, possibly laughed at because I didn't understand what to do. I wasn't doing at least $5,000 a month, which is usually what is required for you to go get business funding. If you're not doing $5,000 plus per month within each of the last 3 to 4, 6+ months, it can be quite difficult. And you don't have other parts of the material like credit score wise. We can try to get you in with bad credit, or perhaps you don't have the time in business, and all these things have to come together. And so I was in a situation growing my businesses, one of those being a digital marketing agency at the time. And I was just like, well, I wasn't doing the revenue. I wasn't getting my clients, or I wasn't doing it this way. I didn't meet this requirement with this checking account here, was using a personal account. And then I just flip-flopped, but I had to learn the hard way. And in that time, I found out what were the right lenders, who were the right lenders to turn to, who were the right brokerages, who should I stay away from, who are the so-called online marketplaces. And so I started going in and out. Like I didn't understand at the beginning where to turn. And so like many of you guys, I understand after a hard day, the last thing you want to think about is getting business funding because maybe you tried hard enough. And so like myself, I went literally home. A lot of the time I would lay down on the couch and really just think about what my day just turned into. And then going to bed the night before I knew the next day I'd have to do this all over again was quite the struggle. So to become more attractive to lenders, to the underwriters, and to myself, not in looks. I mean, if you're attractive in looks, great. Not everybody is. I know I'm not. I don't consider myself that way. But what you have to understand is to become more attractive to all of us is your profile needs to be cleaned up. Perhaps it just needs a nice little light shave. Maybe it needs a little haircut to trim. Perhaps you got to do the whole works. And that meaning, again, it ties back to the time in business. Do you have a business checking account? How many business checking accounts? Maybe there's multiple businesses. Are you trying to add transfers? Or how about your credit score, your FICO? Do we have to just look at FICO? How about business credit? Now we're checking creditworthiness. What's your liquid credit score at? I know that for a lot of people, they want to get an SBA loan, but they cannot. And now let me turn the page to that. So going away from fundability, just some of the many, there are like over 100, but there are very important ones, the ones that I just mentioned. You have to look more attractive to the lenders. Otherwise, they will not fund you. And if you're in a situation where credit isn't desirable and you're thinking to yourself, what will I get accepted for? Terms put a lot of weight on, the credit score puts a lot of weight on your term. So if you're thinking about getting these monthly repayments with these lower interest rates, with these longer terms, a lot of the times people won't qualify for that. And if you're just using the money for survival purposes, like EIDL loans, targeted advanced grants, PPP, employee retention credit, all of this, then yes, it's going to always be hard for you to justify getting funding through a private lender, through investors. So that is what I'm going to touch upon a little bit later. But SBA loans, let's talk a little bit about that. And if you guys have any questions about it, please feel free to leave me a comment. I will try to answer as I go. If not, I'll try to get to you guys at the end of it. Just stick around with me, but this is going to be very impactful. I have a good amount of notes here. So SBA loans, I spoke about this the other day, and I just came out with a few videos on how to get a business loan with bad credit, with bad personal credit. And this can even tie into good personal business credit. All right, so those videos kind of cover that. And if you haven't been following me for some time, maybe you're just tuning in. This is the first time you're being aware about who I am. Maybe you found me through Instagram, maybe a blog post, because I do a lot of blogging. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do that much today. It's one of my joys. It's like a meditation session for me to blog, the very first thing I do. But you found me through TikTok, you found me on Facebook, et cetera, but now you're here, and that's what's most important. You're getting educated, you're getting plugged in, because every day I'm releasing material. So SBA EIDL loans. No longer are they accepting new applicants, but it is in the reconsideration, increases, appeals, declines. I've just helped out a lot of people this week, specifically this week, reaching out to me on the increased reconsideration because people have been declined. So they want to get a way of understanding how they can go back, send the email, get a hold of customer support service, what numbers, perhaps what emails they should try, which one could probably give them faster access, and get it in front of a loan officer so they can really consider it without wasting any more time. So I've done a lot of that. People getting approved for SBA 7A loans, 504/CDCs, getting SBA 8A mentoring, and a lot more. So a lot on the upside moving up. But idle loans aren't the only thing to be worried about. Don't think just because the idle loans are there, that's what program does. And I blame them a lot because it is what a lot of business owners just tend to turn to. And I get it because of the attractive rates, the longer terms, the monthly repayment. But it wouldn't be as bad if you turn to these private lenders who usually fund businesses for both reasons, and that are survival money, payroll, debt consolidation, mortgage, any type of bills, anything that's just trying to keep you afloat. Maybe you're not there, you are. And then they also help with the growth and expansion. So private lenders, growth and expansion should be your primary use of funds. Let me say that one more time. Growth and expansion through private lenders should be your primary use of funds. It can be secondary. It can be, hey, I need to make payroll. I need for COVID relief. I'm not in a situation cash flow wise where if I took this funding, it would help me. However, if you are, then yes, let's say 25% of this is payroll, the other 75% is growth and expansion, or vice versa. But now you're justifying the means that when you get that offer presented to you, you'll say, hey, it's not so much of a problem. I can take this amount on as a lump sum. Or perhaps I'm looking at a line of credit where I can withdraw and use the funds whenever I need to. And then that wouldn't hurt your cash flow. So there are different services and purposes for everything. So I'm going to touch a little bit aside from the SBA. I want to quickly get into these offers because that's what I really wanted to get into. And that's why it's imperative you guys know, as it is March 31st, 2022. And I'm going to try to do this for you guys as a reminder just about every month, because at the end of the month, around that time, because those of you who have an offer on the table at this moment, and I just sent emails out, I will be sending text messages after this live for those of you who have offers that you have till the end of today to accept it or decline it. Either or is on the table. No pressure on you, but today would be the last day unless you waited another day for the next month. Then we have to look at a month-to-date bank transaction report, and usually you will have to submit your new month of bank statements. That meaning for the month of March. So rolling into April, if you did not accept an offer that is on the table today, then the month-to-date bank transaction report and a few things over here, you might need your new month of bank statements. So it's critical. It really is. I had a gentleman just last month who accepted it on literally on the last day of February, and I made it known to them. I said, hey, no pressure, but today will be the last day. And if you wait, we will have to start the process over, usually again. And we're going to have to revisit your March bank statements with a few other things. And again, you're going to have to wait. And I'm not sure you want to go through that. It's not that it's a hassle, but you don't want to put yourself in a situation where, hey, I needed the funds as of yesterday, but now I'm having to wait 2 to 3 more days or even a day's worth. But even at that, now let's say it's Friday, like today's Thursday, but it were a Friday on the last day. Now you're going to have to wait till the next week, usually Monday, maybe for an approval, or Tuesday you receive your funds and you don't even get them to midweek or at the beginning of the week, and that is not sufficient. So that is something you want to do if you have an offer on the table. Make sure you act on it. And keywords I said earlier are accept, that's right, or decline. And so what I mean by that is be considerate of an underwriter, of myself, of the lenders when you're presented with an officer, I wanted to say senior officers too, but an offer. that you can, one, not only be grateful for what you're getting, and that's what I want to back into. Be grateful for what you get. If you've come through myself and you filled out my questionnaire, which, by the way, if you guys need help getting business funding and are like, what's that questionnaire form? Then I have a simple questionnaire that I will link to. It should be in the description right now if it's all updated. But you can simply fill out some funding details where then it will land in my email inbox, where then I will take my time to analyze and evaluate everything you put into that. It's confidential between you and I. It does not go anywhere else. It is not an application. It is simply a questionnaire. It's like a mediary. And it's like that little midsection where, hey, before you go and apply, this is what you must know. I'm going to get you in the ballpark on what your best funding option and options are, very thoroughly broken down into qualifications, how it works, the numbers, and everything all together, bonus tips, bonus material, conclusion, what I would recommend you do. Sometimes you get presented things in that email that you will not qualify for if you have not the details, like the fundability, as I spoke a little bit about earlier, right? Like the time in business, credit, revenue, checking account, not sufficient, all these other things that make you look more attractive. If you do not have those things, I'll still show you. And even if you do qualify for something and you don't necessarily meet the qualifications of a certain program, I may show you that, not in all cases, just so you have an idea and you're not questioning, well, I wanted the SBA 7A loan, but hey, we don't qualify for that right now. And this is why, and I'll show you. And I'll even possibly show you the numbers between a shorter term, a middle term, and a longer term. And why does the shorter term make the most sense? Perhaps that's the only thing you can qualify for right now. Or perhaps you don't. Perhaps you have some other options. Like just recently, I helped out plenty of people, not only purchasing an existing business, but for multiple purposes, who are like, well, I want to purchase this business for $300,000 and I'm looking at an SBA 7A loan. Great. Let's see if you qualify first. Let's run through some numbers, if that looks attractive to you. And also, if you don't qualify for this, here are some other options on the table. So instead of getting the SBA 7A, they had turned to the revenue-based loan, the merchant cash advance. Sure, 3 to 18 or 4 to 24 months are on the table, but think about the ROI of purchasing that existing business. If it's already generating revenue, the amount of profits, that's what's desirable, and you already have an existing business that's doing just fine in cash flow. And there are many uses, not just for purchasing an existing business, but I've seen all variety. I've helped out all types of industries, not only get business funding, personal loans used for business, business credit building, fixing your credit, which, by the way, if you want to learn more about that, look in the description down below. Veronica, nice. I appreciate you. I'm sure you did. A lot of people say that they found me on TikTok. TikTok is a blessing and I'm very grateful to use it. It can be hard for me to be on there, to be honest. Like video to me is a bit difficult because I don't know if you'd believe this, but I am an introvert. I just, I guess, use video enough. The questionnaire should be in the description. I don't know if you're seeing it in the description below. Underneath the video, there should be one. I already put some details in there. If you can't see it, I'll put it in time. And actually, I'll paste it in a second here. And I want to make a quick announcement on that. So it's in the chat now. Maybe you can't see that. But for those of you who filled out the questionnaire just recently, as of yesterday, sometime before 2 and even after 2 o'clock, there were technical difficulties and issues with my email provider, with some G Suite / Google Workspace and my Gmail. Excuse me, I had a vegetable beverage, very clean for you and delicious. Did not have my tea this morning. I have had too much sugar lately. So and I didn't get to exercise as what I wanted to yesterday. Awesome. And so what I want to say to you guys is I sent you guys individually an email. And I said, hey, error, or I said application or questionnaire error or something like that. So open up that email if you have not and click the link and go resubmit your questionnaire. That's not everybody. What I'm saying is the people who did it, because it didn't land in my email. Like you guys filled out that questionnaire. Yes, you guys became the subscriber. Yes, you guys probably got some of my other material, like my free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist that comes alongside of it. But I was not able to see the questionnaire in my email. So that was the issue. It wasn't landing in my email inbox. Before it was, but I made the necessary adjustments. So make sure if you've gotten that email, you go look for it. I sent it earlier this morning, and I'm sure you maybe have a load of them. And I apologize if there are too many, but just had some videos released and I had some new announcements. So make sure if you're one of those people who filled out my questionnaire and I sent you an email with an error on that questionnaire, please go ahead and go back in there and fill it out, and it should work. I should be getting it. I've been getting plenty of them today. Now, moving a little bit forward from the offers, actually, we'll move a little bit into that. So if you don't have an offer on the table, you can still go and apply today, but don't expect to receive an offer same day in most cases. Yes, there are programs out there where you can get same day instant approval, but the funds may not be deposited because it is after 12 now until the next day or so, usually the next day. If it is a more manual process that takes time to go through that application, it is again after 12 o'clock. A lot of us are in the West and East Coast. And so what our underwriters or officers or lenders may not be available immediately, but at least you've put the application in. What I recommend you do today and yesterday, this week alone, we've changed a certain application format for a certain program and certain lenders you may be aware of if you've been this person who submitted an app or started an application. What I want to say is I've been seeing a lot of people starting their applications but not progressing. And it's kind of telling me a little bit, maybe you are getting busy or there was something in that application that you were just not too sure about. Feel free to voice it with me. Until I have feedback, exactly, I won't know. And I've said this before, no feedback, I can't understand how to help you. So I've reached out to those of you who have started an application but have not gone past the pre-approval or have not gone past uploading your documents, just about 3 months of bank statements, a voided check, and a copy of your driver's license is all that's needed. It's a very safe and secure online process. In fact, I've had so many people go through it, myself included, and it works absolutely fine. It's not scammy, none of that. So those of you who are tuning in now or will watch this on the replay or when I send it out, if you are that individual and I see who comes through, I can go to my email right now and see everybody who started an application but has not gone past the uploading the documents and signing and dating their application because I get updated. I know who you guys are. I don't know what's happening. If there's something you're concerned about, like I said, I have no feedback until it's given to me. I cannot read your mind. There are a lot of possibilities that I can assume and I cannot conclude. So make sure that you are progressing. And I have video content on this, guys. There's a specific brokerage program that is amazing. And some of you guys are just stalling. I don't know what's happening. I've sent you guys, if it was in the questionnaire that I responded back to you guys, I sent you in that an application as well as the videos on the terms and rates, how the application process looks like, so you know with 100% confidence and certainty what each step of that entails. So if you have not watched that video, perhaps that's why you haven't progressed. I've spoken to so many people today who are like, yeah, I just watched your videos and I just wanted to send you a quick message. Yeah, I know what the application process looks like. Simple. And they progress. So if it's an uncertainty problem, perhaps it was a pre-qualification offer you were given. That isn't set in stone. Don't let that little application pre-qualification offer, if that's even there, push you away from getting business funding. And if you need help getting clarity on how much you can get approved for, if you have not spoken with me, if perhaps you came through a blog post, a video piece of content, and you've stalled, it normally means you did not thoroughly go through the information. You did not see how much you can get approved for. You did not understand what are the actual terms and rates if you have this certain funding criteria. So again, if you are on the fence, you just need some clarity. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm just here to inform you. I want to give you the value you need. I want to make sure you understand who our lenders are, how we can connect you, how you can get the best help possible in whatever way it is. That's what I'm going to be here to do for you. But if I don't get any feedback, like I've had people from weeks ago submitting applications that just got started but never progressed. I don't know if they saved it, but I've sent them an email, maybe a text message, just to quickly follow up and see what's happening. Are they still interested? What did they not find good about it? Perhaps they didn't get what they wanted to start with. I don't know, but it's 100% safe online application is what you are going to expect. Avoided check, copy of your driver's license, bank statements for the most part for anything underneath 150, under 100,000 in a lot of cases. That's all that is just needed. And so I just want to clarify that for those of you who are going to, one, go through an application. Perhaps you guys know who I'm talking about. I won't put any names out there. I'll try to maybe get on the share screen here to show you guys. But that's what is to be expected. So we just touched upon the some of the things with fundability, getting the offers, if you currently have one, how you should not be waiting too long. Last day, guys, today, I just before this, I kid you not, I've spoken to plenty of people today, but one individual just got an offer and they have till the end of the day. There are plenty of them too, but this one individual, again, who I emailed, if you're here watching, I won't say your name, but I sent you an email as well as everybody else who got their offers today or have had an offer for some time now. That make sure you guys go check your email or you guys go get your text message or phone call. Usually it's a lot of the time email. And you can go either and approve or disapprove. If there's something you have questions about, please feel free to, again, feedback is it's probably the most important thing that I ask from each and every one of you is don't stall, don't get complacent, don't just get upset. Okay, so that's very important. And I was upset yesterday. I had to speak with my support team, and guess at what time? I was up at 12:45 in the morning getting my email sorted because they didn't get back to me until about, what, was about 12, I want to say exactly, about that time. And I was a bit upset because my email wasn't registering the questionnaires. So I had to fix it all last night before I went to bed, so I'm a bit tired. And it's all good because I'm happy to be here with each and every one of you, get to know you guys, which I didn't say this in the beginning. Like, where are you guys tuning in from? What do you guys have going on later this evening? Are you guys at work? Maybe you're at home. Is it sunny out? I see the sun shining a little bit. Lights coming through the window. I have some of the blinds open, but I didn't want to shine too much light to take away from this. So getting back on subject, getting a business loan fast. Let's talk about that, and then we're going to talk about how to get one that's slow. This is going to probably be the key piece here, but keep in mind that, again, I want to reemphasize the real purpose of this. If you have a funding offer on the table, do not wait. If you wait till next month, it can help you. However, if your March bank statements are less than the previous 3 months, or somewhere in those 3 months, it's not what is needed, it can cause a reduction in what you get. So if you got approved for, let's say, $25K, now you submit your March bank statement with the other 3 included on your lowest month, maybe this time you didn't have a good month, right? So now you're going to get approved for maybe half of that, 20, 15. Now you're going to be in a predicament, and now you're going to be saying, well, I really could have used the 25K all up at once. However, I could still use this 10, 15K. But what you don't want to do is say, hey, I didn't get everything I wanted at once. What you want to do, and I said this the other day, and I went on live on TikTok with a mass amount of people who were there. If you were there, I appreciate you. If you're not, you may want to tune into those. Very important. But I've spoken with people who are like, well, I wanted to get 25,000 all up at once. And in those emails, if you guys have filled out those questionnaires and received the response back, I will say just 100% of the time, note, and I even put note, if you do not get the offer you wanted all at once, what I tell business owners and what I've done for myself and what a lot, and probably I have that in caps lock, a lot of people do is, let's say they don't get what they want. Perhaps they got offered 15K, but they wanted 25K. No, I don't want to do that. It's not that you close your mind on that. You say, can I really use the 15,000? And the benefit is this, guys, the repayment just drops. It can drop in half. Perhaps you had a $300 payment. Now it's probably around 150 or so. That's a plus. Perhaps you don't get everything you want all up at once, but you can come back, pay off about 50% of it, refinance in about 45 to 65 days, in about 20 days, depending on how much funding you're getting, how much you want to tack on. Yeah, I'd come back, and this time you can get approved for more. Drop the rates, increase the terms. It's very helpful, but it's a closed mindset to just think, no, I didn't get everything I wanted, and I really need this. I spoke to some people recently who said they had already in a position of an advance here or some type of loan. No, but I want longer terms. You're not getting longer terms. And I had to say this to the person in a very nice way. Reason being you're not getting longer terms is because of your funding details. Right now, I'm looking at your FICO credit score, and I predicted what they had an offer with in another company that they are currently paying off right now. But they had 6 months for about the range, the amount they got. I knew that that's what they were going to get. So I predicted it very well what they had without him telling me. So I'm like, did you get about 4 to 6 months? And I said 6 months after that. He goes, yeah, 6 months at about this amount and this rate. Yeah. Excuse me. So what I then did is I ran some numbers on what they were getting there. And I'm like, yeah, that's a fair assessment. The first time they were given this amount because of this, and then the second time they said they were in this position. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what we would have done. That's what I would have done. Yeah. So that's why they were getting what they were getting. But they were like, oh, I want a longer term with this payment. No, it doesn't work that way. Pick up your funding details, and then we can talk differently. We can have a different conversation. But if you just rely on that credit score to stay at a 550 underneath the 600, there's a big reason you're getting 6 month terms. If it's above 600 with the right funding amount in monthly revenue, time in business, yeah, maybe 7 to 11 months. You have exceptional 12 to 24 months or great. We can get you those types of terms with 50,000 plus per month in monthly gross sales. And you have about 2+ years in business. Average is good. And the FICO credit score, at least a 700 and above, sometimes 680 and above, we can adjust for. Then you're considered an A paper lending client. But until you're in that category, you're going to be in the B to C to D plus range. And that's where you have no leverage. So that ties in getting a business loan fast is what you have to be aware of is if you get a business loan that's fast, you're getting these medium to high interest rates, total payback, factor rates, however you would like to call them. And this is why I calculate these percentage of APRs that are a bit higher than most. And it isn't because they are bad. It isn't because they're a horrible solution. We have to look at ourselves. That is the key thing. Ourselves, our business. Are we doing enough as a human being? Are we building each other up? So that when I go to business, when I go to work, everything just aligns and everything is increasing, everything is improving. So what I'm going to do for you is because I created a video on this and content down below in the description, how to increase, how to fix your FICO, really take that serious. Because I have a lot of people who submit their profiles who have good revenue. It's just like maybe 40, 50, 20, 15,000 consistently, but they have these 500, 600 and below FICO credit scores. And I have to be the bearer of bad news to tell them, hey, man, or hey, ma'am, you will not be able to qualify for 7 to 11 months, even 12 to 24. Forget about 2+ years. Sure, some services with unsecured term loans, but those may be more costly. Over total cost of financing is a lot more. So we have to look at this MCA or this short-term loan. Usually a lot of people fall into the 6 months because they don't have the funding criteria to get them where they need to. So when they are doing like 40,000 and above, they get 6 months. And I'm like, oh, no, 6 months. No, I cannot do that. Can I get something? No, you cannot. And so, and I'm not in a battle. I don't ever do that. I just go, I'm sorry, but we can't get you 6 months or 7 months, even about 2 more months from there because your credit score, perhaps it's your time in business and something to do with your revenue. It's inconsistent. Your lowest month and then your average is just not making sense. It's not aligning. So we can't take your lowest month and your average and give you some type of an average there. So if we take the lowest month in the last 3 months, we look at those 3, we look at the average and we go, well, it's closer to the lowest month. We can't even assess this over here. We have to focus over there. And that's just the bottom line of how it works. So if you're going to get a business loan fast, just understand you're going to get medium to high rates. Not bad at all. At all. I've had people just recently accepting 100,000 and above, less than 100,000. They didn't have a nice credit score. Some of them had like a 700 and above, A tier. They had that vegetable juice is really getting to me. It's like when I had milk yesterday, really hits me. But if you do not have the criteria, you will not have leverage. The better fundability details you have, the better leverage you will get. And the more options I will open up to you. I will open up everything. It's like the gates have opened for the flood. And it's like, this is what is here. But this actually makes the most sense with your use of funds. Oh, you cannot? You're always going to battle for the lowest price. It's like when you're buying a product, you're always going to be battling for the lowest price. And if that's the case, I can't put enough energy and time to that. And if you're always going to be complaining about your offer, then it has more to do with insufficient revenue on a daily basis. Maybe one day you're at 100, maybe another day you're at 500, and then you're at $0, $10. So cash flow is your biggest weakness. But even more is the pyramid that you have to look at. Cash flow is just one part. That's only the symptom. You have to go in there and fix the diagnosis. And what is the diagnosis? The internal structure of your business, the way you budget, the way you use your accounting, the way you're paying bills, the way you attract customers, what customers are paying the most in your business. Well, I have to build stronger revenue to get to where I want to get to. Then how do I learn to build what's called a value ladder where I can increase my prices, or perhaps create another product or service at the top level, middle level, or at the bottom, which is what I've helped a lot of businesses do. I have my own businesses set up in this way. So it's not about competing for the lowest rate or competing for the longest terms or competing for a monthly repayment. It's about justifying your insufficient revenue on a daily basis. That's what it ultimately comes down to, and why so many people, they shy away from when I give them something and they don't progress. And there's no it's even worse when there's no feedback and I try to reach out. So just keep that in mind. Business loans fast, yes, accepting bad credit, but you're also sacrificing getting a lower interest, perhaps a monthly payment, perhaps something longer term, but those aren't always as attractive. You don't want to also be in debt for so long. I've had people getting some type of SBA loan. They're like, man, I regret being in that, because they have this huge payment, or another person has a lower payment. And they're like, well, I got to pay this off for 20, 25 years and over 10 years, even 5 years at a minimum or so, even 2+ years for an unsecured term loan, secured term loans, and so forth. But the total cost of financing is too much. They are paying a certain individual, I don't want to say, but they're having to pay over like $50,000 in added interest, as opposed to what they could have done here. Had a bigger repayment, could have been a bigger, could have been lower. Monthly may have been $3,000, $4,000, $5,000+ more than an SBA. However, it's out of the question when you are struggling justifying the debt you just put yourself in, whether it's a low amount or a large amount. And I went ahead and said, hey, man, I explained the details how this works. Now, what does that mean? That also means, I also question myself, do you really understand what you're doing in your business in a financial sense? Like, do you have all of that together? Did you look at all that before you made that informed decision, or did something just recently change? Even if that were to happen, you don't make those types of adjustments on that. So keep that in mind. Getting a slow business loan. Sure, you want to wait for the SBA 7A idle loans to get you the increase that you're looking for. Perhaps you'll get it. Maybe you won't. But if you did get it, well, I want more. That's what a lot of people come to me and ask. Can I get more? What are my alternative options? And then they tell me they want this low, because you've been programmed by the idle loans. You've been programmed by the SBA 7A loans to expect a lower interest rate, a lower rate. So when people come to me and they say, what are the terms and the rates? That is the worst way to approach it for me. Maybe not 100% on your end, because you've been through some of these things and you just want to ask that. But it's not what I want to start a conversation with you. Like, sure, I'm going to show you what the terms and rates are, but it's more about the use of your funds. Does it make sense on all of this? The repayment. We have to look at a bigger picture before I start talking to you about terms and rates, and asking questions on how you're doing. How's your health? What are you currently going through? How's your life? How are you living? and so forth. So getting a slow loan, SBA 7As, idle loans can be slow. I've seen a lot of that recently. And then you have a lot of other things. It can be real estate financing, helping out people right now getting commercial mortgage properties, fix and flips, bridge loans, nationals, and there's a bunch more. But just expect that if it's going to be slower, usually you'll want to supply more documentation, and you will want to, again, wait more time for you to get funded. I did see that, Veronica. I appreciate you for saying you're from Mississippi. Nice. That'd be a cool place to go and visit. For sure. I've had Mississippi on my mind. So back on this, declines and how to fix it. Very quickly, and then I'm going to move to my next part, and then we'll close up. If you've been declined, you haven't even been presented an offer, it tells you what? People come to me and they say, I don't know why I got declined. Sometimes you're not given specifically why. Sometimes you're given a couple of options or something very simple, but you know why. And if you don't know why, you didn't take the time to watch my video, you didn't take the time to read my blog post or read that email response I gave you, or on the phone, text message, however it was presented to you. Did you? Let's be honest. You didn't really take the time, did you? Because a lot of people come back to me and they say, I don't know why I got declined. Yes, you do. And if you didn't, please go back to the material to see the qualifications and the requirements. And then there's some stuff on the background, like background checks, delinquencies, non-sufficient funds, too many of them, negative days, way too much. I just had a lot of people recently getting declined for non-sufficient funds and negative days. Too many people taking on too many loans. We can try to buy them out, but just recently purchasing them or renewing them, and it becomes almost like I don't want to say that to that degree because that's putting it large, but almost like a catastrophic event for a lot of people. But that's what you should know. If you're getting declined, don't end up on the data merge. If you haven't heard what that is what lenders use to evaluate your future funding possibilities. So they have people in their system who have caused, they could tell people who have caused financial fraud. They have altered bank statements, and then they have gone in default, have a past judgment, and so forth, or going through one. So I recently had individuals do that and kind of ghost when I gave them the answer that they were declined for the reason. They know. You know who you are. And then I have people who get declined because they don't read the information on where to go get started on an application. And then I have people who just wait too long. People wait too long to get on the phone call with me. It's not all about a phone call. I'm not getting on calls with every single person. This is not the call center, for one. And two, it is not your ordinary or average way of just getting on a phone call with someone. Sure, I will take them. I'll be happy to if they make sense for the most part. And I like to have people fill out the questionnaire first, not only just first, and they get on the call first and thoroughly have gone through it themselves. And if we get on a phone call, it's just about clarifying a few things. That's not a lot to ask for, is it? So what I want from you guys to do when you guys leave from here, if you have not filled out the questionnaire, please do so. I put it in the comment section. It should be in the description down below. If you already filled it out, great. Maybe I haven't gone to you. There are some that I have. There's plenty of them today that I still need to get to. I will get to you. If you've received a response back from me and did not find the email, go to your spam box. I don't want to be that person, but it is very common sense. If it's not in your inbox, promotional folder, social tab, whatever it is, go to your spam box. And so that's where it should be for the most part. Now, if you're getting declined on getting a business loan, there are a lot of repercussions. Not a lot of people can come back and get funded because if you've caused one of those three issues or more, financial fraud, altered bank statements, and the default, past judgment, etc. Once you get one default in that industry, you're done. And it really just gets reported everywhere else. So you cannot come and get funding at any time. It doesn't matter if it happened a month ago, yesterday, a week, 6 months ago, a year plus, you cannot come back and get funding. So be very careful about why you're taking the funding. Know that for one. Know what you're applying it to. And just make sure you can make those payments. Don't turn to, I want to get it deferred. I missed some days. I couldn't be in business. You're liable for the most part. And even if you have a strong enough relationship with me, the underwriter or the lender, they don't always tell you, hey, yeah, we can help defer the payment. That's just not how it works. And then there are very rare circumstances where, yes, if you have a strong enough relationship, you built it with them over time, you've been through that so much, they're like, yeah, Josh or Sally here, I can help you with just about a month of deferment. But it isn't something you should rely on, and it doesn't happen. It's very seldom. So declines for defaults and all those financial fraud things you're doing, altering your bank statements just to get approved, it's almost a joke. Just don't do it. Come into something with being real. And I see these bank statements. I have people sending them to me a lot. And I get them when it's asked for. I'll ask for them. And if you need help seeing something in the account, sure. But when I see these starting bank balances, when I see the amount of deposits, not only that, like 3, 4, 5, how much is being deposited in terms of cash, money, right? As well as the types of deposits, transactions, all of this that is showing me in these full bank statements. And when I mean full bank statements, the full bank statements for those months, not just one little piece of paper with something just showed me like 5 transactions. And I don't have the name of the business at the top, your name, et cetera, to verify that it is truly your business. We need the full information. So make sure that it all is all aligned before you go and submit it. So when I see people starting bank balance, deposits, remaining bank balance at the end of the month, sometimes it is lucrative. It is crazy. It almost looks, it is all like sometimes people alter that. And I'm like, what? And even the transactions, this isn't a line that took something off of this. Why are they doing that? You just put yourself in a hole. You didn't even have that history, but you just did. You just caused it. Get up about getting funded. I'm sorry to say that, to be the person, but that's how it works. So renewals. If you are getting this and you've gotten funding through me in the past, some of you guys have tried to reach out to me. I haven't been able to send you guys a message, or perhaps I haven't been able to get on with you guys. I'll try to respond to you guys as fast as possible. Again, I have a lot of things that I do in the day. And send me a quick text message, maybe about what the problem is you're facing. Sometimes I can't get on the call right away. So send me a quick text message, maybe just pre-frame me on something. And then when it needs to be on the call, we can just quickly go over it and so forth. But a lot of the times you can just send me an email about the issue. You can send me a quick text message if I don't get back to you right away. Just know that I do get busy and I get very productive in things that I cannot just pick up a phone call out of the blue or just call somebody out of the blue. It can be set as an appointment. I have stuff like that. But yeah, if you're going to come in for a renew, I have plenty of people who have done that just recently. Just renew at any time that you would like to. You're already in the system. Speak with me if you have any questions about renewing, what you're looking to do. Maybe you're unsure about something. Do I have to supply extra documents now? Or what's the thing that I got to go and do now? Make sure you communicate that with me. But if you're ready to go back and get funding, go ahead and do so. And if you haven't even started with funding, all those options will be down below in the description for you, so you can get more information on that. But I will be reaching out to you guys in time. So yeah, just to kind of close up shop here. So clean up your funding details, meaning your fundability, in other words, your financials. Understand what lenders, underwriters, myself, what we're all looking at when you come get business funding. And you got to understand that if you don't have an attractive profile, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't get funding. It just means we have to clean that up if you have preferences. If, let's say, the 6-month example, but you want a 7 or at least 8 months, then we got to clean up your FICO credit score. We got to clean up your revenue. We got to clean up your time in business but if it makes sense, like let's say some people are like, well, I have this, but my FICO credit score isn't desirable, but I really could use the funds. I'm about to hit a hard season. I'm going to need this to increase this. This is our highest ROI season. Doesn't matter if I'm paying $400, $500 a day. I can take that where I'm making a $400, $4,000, $5,000 and above payment or so per month, $7,000. So be it. It's not the end of the world for me. I have good cash flow. It's not going to hurt my business. I don't want to wait 2+ years or get 5+ years. Maybe I do qualify. Maybe I don't qualify. But because it's this fixed mindset of I need to get the lowest rates. I need to get a monthly payment. I need to get a longer term. That is a false way of thinking, 100%. Like thinking that 100% is not good. So yeah, just to kind of recap then, the offers on the table, if you guys have one, you have till the end of today to accept or decline. Don't just leave the offer on the table. And the reason being is if you didn't even accept it, but you didn't even decline it either, then you go apply somewhere else or something else is happening that you're trying to do. You're trying to stack offers on top of offers. What you're trying to do a lot of the time is, yeah, you didn't get what you wanted here, so you're going to go and find another offer. And then if you get accepted there, you'll come back here and try to add this one on. You're stacking. You shouldn't be doing that. That can disqualify you. And lenders will not look at you ever again for the most part because they know what you're trying to do. And then the false way of thinking is if I didn't get everything I wanted, is to go find another place to go and apply for. That is completely wrong. What you should do, like I said, is if you don't get everything all in one shot, take what you can get, come back in about 45 to 65 days, pay off about 50% of it, 20 days, even if so, depends on how fast you can pay what you're paying. No prepayment penalties, early payment discounts, a lot of benefits on top of this. Sure, then we can get you the other 30,000, 20,000 again. But what I ask people, do you really need the whole amount in one shot? And you know what I hear? This is over 50% of the time. No, I do not. So why do you expect to get it all at once? Because then I have it all there. It's easy for me to then apply it all to what I need. Sure, but at the same time, you can get faster funding now the second time around. We can drop your rates. So as opposed to that 7th month where you're paying this amount, we can try to drop this. And now you're paying less, and that would help you. Maybe you can allocate that money elsewhere. And I was trying to allocate that money to a different spot. So when I make it more clear to people on, yeah, take this now and then come back. Just today, people doing that like crazy. 20,000. Now I get approved for 30,000. 50,000, not quite to 60,000, but add-on funds are available. Oh, I don't actually need the 60,000. Oh, no, I actually need another 5 to 8K. Let me do that instead of the 60K. Boom, done. Oh, I have a line of credit. Cool, I can go withdraw from that anytime I want. I didn't get a lump sum. Or my lump sum is gone. I have my line of credit. Do you see how this is all coming together? So the month-to-date bank transaction report, if you do not accept the offer, you have until the end of today. Again, this is March 31st, 2022, if you're watching this later on, to accept. And it's like this at the end of every month. If you do not, we're going to have to review again your new month of bank statements and then your month-to-date bank transaction report. I've had plenty of people going through that, and they told me it's a hassle for them. Although we can do it fast, but don't expect it in a day, sometimes in 2 days. See what's happening now? You're waiting. It already took some time for you to go through an application, for me to get you through a brokerage, for me to submit you through private lenders, through direct lenders, for me to gather the documentation that I need necessary to go to submit. But now we have to look at it all over again. So hopefully you guys are understanding that. And if you're in the renewal process and you're ready, you want to speak with me, go ahead. Maybe there's something else you want to question. Perhaps there's some other service you're looking at and you have doubts or you're not sure about it, or you just want to get a second opinion on if you can qualify for this. Hey, like I tell everybody, you're sitting right next to me. I got my hand over your shoulder. Let's talk like we were just sitting here. Nothing business related. We're just talking like we've known each other for a long time. So that's what is different about me than going through a lot of people and just going to go start an application and seeing what you get offered. You need, honestly, a personalized and customized approach. So I want to make this clear. So we have, can I apply again for DAC line of credit? It's been more than 3 weeks after I got declined. Answer me this. Why were you declined? We'll start there. And while you're answering that, I'm going to continue. So the thing is, we have to understand like what we are qualifying for. Are we really reading what we qualify for? I'm not trying to be mean, by the way. This is just, if I was like this, literally, if I did this, do you know what you qualify for? Do you know? Sometimes you have to break that. That's who I am, but I have to break that so you guys can get a better understanding. So you guys do not go down the wrong path. So you guys don't come to me later and say, I should have listened to you, Michael. Yeah, I did get that offer there. Oh, but I wasted 30 minutes, 40 minutes. See, all right. So it's a 520. For one, I appreciate you being open about your credit score. Listen, the qualifications I express on my videos. I express them in my blog posts. I have expressed them in emails. So if it is what it is, that's what it is. And so when people come back to me and they ask me a lot of the times, am I ready for this? Am I ready for that? I'll ask them, hey, last time we visited this, you did not have this time in business. You did not have the revenue. Maybe it's a credit score, et cetera. What did you do to fix it? That's what I ask people. What did you do to increase it, if not having to fix it? It's been over a year. My material is there, but you haven't taken any kind of action on it. You haven't paid off their debt. You haven't found how to fix this issue because I've given you the information, you just haven't done it. And I'm not saying it to one person specifically, but I'm going to say right now, with a 520 FICO, you will not get approved for a line of credit. Line of credits, I released a video today. I'm not sure if you saw this, but you'll want to, I'm not going to go into the specifics, but you'll want to go watch that video after this is done. Everybody here, we got to get ourselves educated on what are the approvals, what are the qualifications, the requirements. So I just released a video today on how to get a business line of credit with bad credit. And so go watch that video for those of you guys who do still have doubts or questions about qualifications. Maybe you've seen it, but you just did not watch it. Read my email. Do you see how this, you guys don't go into a bank and just give them whatever. You're on top of it. You show up, give them your debit card. They have questions, you know the questions, you know the answers. I'm going to be as thorough because this matters. This is what it is. You don't just go and start an application just to start it. No, don't even get started if that's the case. Okay? So I just want to say that so we all save our energy and time. My energy and my time, bar none. So I need to save that. So make sure you're going through the information. And if you don't qualify for something, it isn't the end of the world. And it isn't me being mad, but if it is said over and over and over, and you're coming back over and over about the same things, it is. It becomes a little bit more of a like, are they even going through my stuff? I shared with them this. Oh, it's right there. They didn't see that? Oh, it's obviously right there. So it's not me being again upset about anything. It's just me. You guys gotta grab life by the cojones, and you guys really gotta go in there and understand how to do all this. Not by yourself because I'm here with you guys, but at least do enough to help me. So yeah, I mean, I've had more people coming in a bit, so I'm gonna let this go for a little bit. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and you are welcome, Juno. So yeah, just understand the things that it takes. And I'm not talking about cojones. I'm talking about the financials, your fundability, because you are going to be in this vicious hamster wheel trying to fight for the lowest rate. You're trying to fight for the longest terms. And I'm almost like shaking my head thinking like, wow, I don't want to see that, but I need to really help them. And that's what I'm here to do. And my purpose is to really help you guys understand this. So much so that I'm in the process of putting a course together. I'll probably work on it a bit, maybe tomorrow, hopefully on Saturday, but I'm putting it together. You guys have my pre-qualification checklist. Hopefully that's been helpful. Let me know if you guys have gotten value out of that. What more do you guys want to see? Let me know what kind of content you guys want me to put out there for you. And again, I'm going to be going live in a moment after this on TikTok for a bit. So I'm going to close up here just about an hour's worth of your guys' time. Startup funding, grant opportunities, non-startup funding, all of that should be in the description. Make sure you guys are referring there. If you guys are watching this from YouTube, make sure you guys check that out. All the information will be there. A lot of resources. Don't forget about those offers that are on the table. And if you don't have an offer, feel free, go start an application today. I'll be notified. I'll follow up with you. I'll check in with my underwriters, my lenders, and we'll all sit together and we kind of get information. And I look through some of the bank statements as well, and I do a lot. So do not be fearful of the application process. I'm going to get on the share screen for you guys. I'm going to see if I can get this done in about a minute or so. 1 second. So this is the business questionnaire form. I'm sure you guys have gone through this already. You guys are like, oh, that looks familiar. I've already done that. What I announced earlier, if you're just joining me, I individually sent emails to individuals who submitted this, I think yesterday, primarily. It did not land in my email inbox. You know who you are because I sent you an email and I probably followed up with you via text. And I said, hey, can you please go and resubmit this? And I sent you a link to this page. And you then should go ahead and submit it again. And this time it will land in my email. But make sure you're doing that. And if you didn't, don't worry. You don't have to go back in there. If you did not get that email, please check in your inbox, your spam folder for it in case you did. But it was usually around like before noon up to like the end of the day yesterday for the most part, or so forth. But this is what it looks like. You go in there, submit some simple funding details. Perhaps you guys seen my ads on Google or Facebook and other places. Oh, that's that guy. But no, I truly understand this industry more than most people do. And I'm here to help you guys get the easiest funding available for you and do this without a hassle. So let me move this over and then I'm going to show you guys a program where you guys can go ahead and get started and then we'll close up the video. I know we're over time, but it's not about time sometimes. It's about, see how that, yeah. It's about you getting enough knowledge to go and apply that. Because if you don't apply that knowledge, you're just going to be sitting on it and you may forget what I just said here. This wasn't a masterclass on underwriting and guidelines because I have other video on that. And I'll continue to release some of that to have more underwriting guidelines to show you and how all this works for different services. Gerardo. Saludos también. So Gerardo here is saying, thanks for the information. And I greatly appreciate you and every one of you. Whether you comment or let me know or not, I know enough because you guys just showed up. That's enough to tell me. And yeah, he's getting startup information. I have a video on startups, so I think I linked it to you guys down below in the description. Make sure to go watch that. And I will probably release another one soon that's similar. But that should be there. Grant opportunities, non-startups, etc. Veronica. Got you. Okay. So Veronica here. Appreciate you for commenting and stating the situation you find yourself in right now. I know it's difficult for sometimes to express that in front of others. I'm not saying you put so much specific information like funding details, like numbers and so forth, but that is enough to show me how brave you are and how considerate you are and that you really ultimately want to get help and you at the same time want to get the understanding of how all this works. So Fico is not good. I don't have any. Yeah, so yeah, so you see a difference, which is a positive. The downside is you don't have the funds to accommodate your new business. How much time do you have in it? And also, that is something that can, not in a hard sense, say the word, but plague, you want to put it like that, people from getting funding is because their FICO credit score. And if it isn't at least a 550 or it could be a 500 and above. If you're doing like 15,000 or 20,000 above in monthly revenue, averaging well, you can even get in with a 450 FICO. But those profiles are very high risk. And if it's a 450 and above, then your details, your everything that we check, like revenue-wise, doesn't have to be as strong, but it has to be consistent. Deposits, time in business perhaps helps you a lot more with more time. Some background things we have to look at, cash flow. We can get you, but if it's anything below a 550, a lot of lenders, they don't want to look at, unless, again, like I said, 500 and above with the revenue there's a exception. But because a lot of lenders have pulled away because people end up in collections, they end up complaining. I'm not saying you are a complainer, but they end up complaining that they didn't get their payment deferred. And I had an individual that I spoke to not too long ago, told me this it was unfortunate that they couldn't work. So they were complaining, they were like upset because they didn't get their payment deferred. And I just had to tell them how it works. They were not happy with it. But I said, hey, this is how it works after I explained it to them. And I'm sorry that you again had to go through this, but no, it just doesn't work that way. And it's very seldom that you'll find that. And you have to build a strong enough relationship. I hear you, Veronica, and I really do. Even if it were, because I've been in your shoes, even if I had my own money, it would be difficult for me to just lend it as a private lender, no matter how much I have, because I'm a very resourceful person. And for two, I need to get my funds back. I need to make sure I'm getting that. Or I need to secure it. I need to go after something that I'm going to get my money back. And so as a startup, it's really hard because you don't have, one, it could be the time in business. It's not only classified as time in business. It could be the revenue, which hurts a lot of people. They maybe have nothing or something. It could be the credits history. There are startup loans. Like I said, that video will be there for you guys to check out on how to get it with bad credit. But what you're looking at is you need to have your credit score, FICO, has to be up there, like 680, 700 and above. There are no true startup funding solutions, angel investors, venture cap. But I talk about all that in that video, so I give you guys options. So make sure to refer to that. And yeah, it's just not like what it is. It's not out there to just, hey, you're in a difficult situation, let's get you funding. No, it doesn't work that way. That's why a lot of people just end up going to grants, going through these startup personal loans. They end up using it for business. They end up going down the targeted advanced grants. And sure, that's attractive, but you'll never know if your business can withstand. And this is what I love about it. You'll never know if your business can withstand getting this type of funding until you do. Boom, right there. If you guys don't ever take the step, and what I tell people, if your benefit of getting that money does not exceed your repayment, don't take it. If it is even just below it and you're like, it's going to pass the threshold, don't do it. Because maybe it isn't now, but maybe in a month or a week or so, you will be put in a position where you will be challenged. You will want to default. Well, not want, but you'll go into a default. You'll end up doing something different. You'll end up calling people. And that's what we want to avoid at the end of the day. So really understand your business and how it all works. But yeah, I wish I could give you more information, Veronica, but getting access through credit cards, building higher limits. This is why building business credit all comes into this. This is why a lot of startups have problems. And there's people who I just recently spoke with, like, man, well, you told me I couldn't find a solution for startup funding. So I immediately took action and I started building my business credit and I started getting access and applying to these credit cards, started building my trade lines through these vendor programs that I was taking on. And man, did it change everything in about a month. But most people, they don't take action. They speak about it, they say something, and then they don't do it. But if you really cared about your business, it's your baby. My businesses are my babies. So I treat them very nice. I cuddle them. I look after them. The grants programs, Veronica, are going to be in the description. So I'm not sure if you're able to see that here. I won't link it to here because I don't have the tab open. And it'll take a bit of looking through. But look through those. I have to update some of those grants opportunities. And then there are also microloan programs, SBA, nonprofit SBAs. So make sure to check those out and reference them. But again, I'm trying to update them in time. So now that that is said, let me go into a different section here and show you guys what I highly recommend you guys take advantage of right now. So there are cases for direct lenders. There are cases for brokerages. To be honest with you, I prefer, and this is what I did a lot of the time, going through a brokerage. And why is that the best solution? One of the best that I recommend. You get the best offer, as opposed to me, which I do a lot of. I'll get people's files. I'll submit them to this lender who deals with this industry, who has these requirements, these qualifications, they're looking for a profile like this. But the problem a lot of the time is they give people a cut that doesn't work well. I'm not talking about what I get in a cut. It doesn't matter to me. What I care about is getting you guys the value. But they will not accept something here as opposed to over here. The benefit is less there than it is there. So trust me, a lot of the times you'll want to take those benefits. And it's like a safety cushion. So what makes up for it not going here makes up for it there. So that's why I recommend doing that a lot of the times. And then there will be its place where there's another solution. You are very welcome, Veronica. And again, thank you for your comments. Now, we have a company here called David Allen Capital Inc. Some of you guys are like, or most of you, I've seen this before. Here he goes again. He's going to bring this up, and this is where I'm going to leave because I didn't qualify. Even if you did not qualify, this will give you a lot of value and insights if you have not gone through the full video of this. And this will be down below in the description so you guys can see it fully. You guys can go over there, start an application, go through it, and I'll show you guys a bit of the process. So you can get up to $2 million incredibly fast funding and even up to $25,000 same day instant approval, and now up to $100,000 in a line of credit. You can withdraw, use the funds however you would like to. I won't get so far into the specifics of the qualifications of these programs, but I do want to touch upon them lightly, especially the application process, which happens to be where a lot of people just stall, where they just don't move forward and complete and sign their documents. I had a lady just yesterday, literally late in the evening, submit, and if you're here, you know who you are. I had the name on the tip of my tongue, but I won't say who it is, but you know who you are. You started an application, you submitted everything in like very fast, completed, and then what? You have an offer on the table. You have till the end of today to decide if you want to accept it or not. And if not, then feel free to decline. If you want to speak about it, feel free to do so, but perhaps you already have all the information. Like I said, if you don't get everything you want in one shot, take it, come back, get more. But you have to understand the repayment. So continuing forward, business capital up to $2 million. If you cannot get the SBA loan, or perhaps you are waiting, you cannot get started. I hear it every single day. It is almost like a broken record player. It's just said in sometimes in a different way, but this is the solution, guys. And I'm going to go in through it just a bit. So simple and fast. Whoa, did you guys see that? Show you. Do you guys see how much light is coming through? Yeah, those clouds just moved out of the way. Let me come back into the screen. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how bright it got in here. So with David Allen Capital, like I said, you can get up to $2 million incredibly fast. You can receive a decision within a day and capital as much as up to $2 million as soon as 1 to 2 business days. This is small business focused of any type. Top rated providers have the best lenders out there, bar none. I've communicated with them multiple times. Again, like I said, when files come through, I'm able to communicate with them. Use as you choose. Qualification, it's very simple for this service. Time in business. Only need a minimum of 4 months. Business can reside anywhere in the US. And if you are not in any of these in the States, let me move this over. I said this in the video today, I believe. Yeah, I did. And then in the past videos, where if you are in like Puerto Rico, Canada, right? Where are my Puerto Ricans at? Where are my Canadians? Give me a little hello. There are alternatives. Sure, right now we're not accepting that. Could that change in the future? Perhaps. But there are alternatives that I've already left you guys in the description. And a lot of people have gone through like this, funding in and out, in and out. They don't quack, they don't ask questions, I was gonna say quack, but they don't come in and go, hey, well, this. They know what to expect because they got all the information they needed from me and they go and act. People who act are a lot of the times the people who I want to work with. And sometimes there's something holding you back. That doesn't mean you're stalling or holding. I need to go clarify something for you. But communicate with me. Comes back to the feedback. If I have no feedback, you started an app like I get today. Look, I can open up my phone right now, or I can go through a different tab. very quickly and see those of you who have started an application and just haven't gone anywhere from there. So there's a lot of things that can be happening. Perhaps you don't have your bank statements ready. Perhaps you're not happy with this. Maybe there's something that you saw. But if I don't have any feedback, how am I supposed to take action? I don't know how to help you. Now what happens is you go somewhere else. Nobody else explains to you how this works. How do these direct lenders work for you? How does this brokerage, how does this solution operate? Damn, I got a bad offer. Man, I was supposed to get 150,000 there, but I got presented an offer here. I'm going to try to see if I can, nope, don't try to buy, don't try to go over here and accept an offer and then come back over here immediately, because we can see that in the systems. And you should see the systems that the lenders have, by the way. Can't give out too much information, but it's incredible. Back on the subject at hand. So location anywhere in the US, Puerto Rico, Canada exception, information in the description. Personal credit scores must be at least a 500 and above. That's all we are asking for, a 500 plus and above FICO credit score. However, or not even a but, all right, this is not a catch, but you must be doing 15,000 plus per month in revenue, not doing 15,000 plus per month. Try our up to 25K option that I will show you in a moment. But again, 15,000, it used to be 20,000 and above. And if you've known this application, you know what you're going through, I'm going to show you in a moment what it all entails. So actually, I'm going to open up a quick tab on my other side here while you guys are looking at that. One moment. I can do this really quick. Again, all links to this will be down below in the description. And if you're waiting for me to respond back to your questionnaire, you can do that as well. But if you qualify for this, I would say go ahead and get started. I'm in my other tab right now. You guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to open up my my landing page here. 1 second. Okay. And I'll shift over there in a moment after I show you these programs. All right. Happy you guys are still with me. And so if you don't qualify for that, and over 700 industries have been served, and I've served over 700 industries myself, I know about just about all the issues. I've seen everything come in and go, from transportation to medical to retail, restaurants, construction, automotive, you name it, gas stations, beauty salons, cosmetics, everything in between, guys. I've dealt with it. You needed equipment financing. What do? Is it a traditional form of leasing? Okay. If it isn't, we can try here. This might be the best thing. Well, you're in the medical industry. Okay, what should we do to help you get aligned with the best lender programs, etc.? So this is what I do, guys, on a daily basis. So I know my stuff very well. I got on a phone call the other day with an individual who wanted a commercial mortgage property, because I do real estate investing too, real estate financing. And I just told them, hey, we can get you up to LTV of this amount, this. People are looking for 100% financing. It just really doesn't always exist. It's very rare to get up to 100% financing in a lot of cases. So sometimes you have to bargain and you have to take what you can get if it is what you really want, and you can afford to do that with a down payment, or you can afford to put some type of real estate. So it's very seldom out there, but it can be found. It's just very seldom. And I try not to work with them because there are so many problems more than there are solutions, and I've seen that in the past. So let me come back to the screen here for you. Again, this is the up to 2 million capital, and then more affordable, faster capital, automatic payments. We can move you in from a daily/weekly. Usually you don't see monthly in this industry. These are the merchant cash advance hybrids to shorter term loan solutions. So merchant cash advance hybrid doesn't traditionally operate as a traditional MCA, where we don't take a future percentage of your credit card receivables. We don't base it off of that. It's way less expensive. And so it is the best solution out there for plenty of people. And even if you qualify for something else, this would be the solution for many people to go through. So again, it is like 4 to 12 months, I want to say, is usually the merchant cash advance, and then like 12 to 24 months is the shorter term loan solution. So it's kind of put into one. But even if you don't qualify for 12 to 24 months, you have to ask yourself, do I really need to use these funds? And does my repayment make sense? This is stuff that I can communicate with you. So now let me come back to this screen. So here's just some of the things that we can compare, how different providers work, cost of capital, the pricing of it, So this is where a lot of people go, it's too high. Well, it's because you're focused on the rates and the terms. You don't really understand all of what I said earlier, and I can go into even more depth in each of those different subjects. But because of the time and everything here that we've kind of gone over, but minimum qualifications, simply 100% online application. You see it right here. Let me highlight that in blue. 100% online application. Very safe and secure, guys, especially if you're that individual who's on the fence of getting started and unsure about it. I'm going to show you guys a bit of what I send you guys in these emails, but it is very safe and secure. Get started. If you can't even submit your bank statement, save the application if that's possible. Come back to it. You'll get an email when it's ready. Go submit it. You have everything all up at once. Don't feel like, wait a minute, no, this is not what I want based on the pre-qualification offer. That's not everything. It has to still be adjusted based on your credit history, ownership, etc. Backgrounds. We still have to look thoroughly into the bank statements to make that determination manually. So don't just stop. I've had people who said they started an application. And I go, where do they go? What do you mean? I don't see you in the system. They stopped at the pre-qualification. They did not continue forward. That is not a set in stone offer. If that is even presented to you, I've gone through it myself, and I was kind of drawn back a bit. But there's a reality component to all of this that you just have to understand, and what is adjusted. So 100% online application, you get to upload your documents. During the online application process, you will then upload 3 months of bank statements, right here highlighted in blue, in PDF, okay? PDF, no exception. A voided check and a copy of your driver's license. And I have people till this day who still come to me and they say, well, I don't have my PDF documents. And they ask for a voided check. How old school is that in the system? I even had an individual, I don't know if you're here watching, but complain, put in a review to myself, into our lenders, unjustified, proved no point. They had no point to prove. Maybe you were having a bad day, which is still inexcusable. You should not be doing that. Don't be that individual who, goes into a situation that they would then regret later, if you regret it, because you were acting in the moment. Step aside. Think about what your actions are before you act on them. Think things through. You can say I'm an overthinker, like my mom. My younger brother, he can be, but he's kind of like my dad. He's got the personality of an impatience, just usually hears himself. My mom and I are usually probably more analytical, and just we've become more patient and more reasonable, understand how to be agreeable. And so, they're still learning, but anyways, back under the screen here. So a voided check and a copy of your driver's license along with the 3 months of bank statements. Perhaps you've seen that in the application. I'll show you how that looks in a moment. Receive offers. We will then provide you with the best funding offers within 1 business day and as fast as an hour. I literally had a lady not too long ago, and I had just another person who they got approved for a load amount, but they took what they needed because they didn't want to supply extra documents. I won't get into all that right now, how that works, but they got in and out. And it's very rare that happens, like same day funding on this. Wow. So when they came in, they got out right away. And I'm sure that's what you want to do. You don't want to waste time. You don't want to waste all of that effort. So how does this application look like? Let me go ahead and show you right now. So if you go ahead and apply now, and I'll show you the other ones in a moment, you'll come to this page. Give it a second to load. When the banks can't help, we can, for sure. I've helped out loads of people. And this isn't about me making my money. It's not about that, guys. Let me move the screen over. If you've been here all my lives, you've watched all my content, you've probably even heard me say how I get goosebumps just helping you guys. And I literally just got a little wave right here. I really, really honestly care about helping you guys. I had my underwriter reach out to me the other day, my lenders. They said, Michael, you know what you did this month? Well, you know what you did just this week alone? It was the first week of a month. I won't say. I go, no, I really don't. Somewhere about, and I just kind of said about, because I'm not keeping track. What I'm keeping track of is what you guys are doing, the psychology, the value, the information. I'm not going to say that. I almost said the full name here. You went to this company? Well, that's why you got what you got. Hey, I tried to help you here, but you just never gave me feedback. So what did you expect was going to happen? And then a lot of people, they shy down or they go, yeah, I understand. And then I just kind of make it a point that, hey, look, moving forward, if you could just please give me a little bit of feedback so we can avoid the situation you just currently went through. Is that reasonable? I'm not pressuring you, am I? I'm not saying, hey, go start this loan. No, I was just trying to get feedback. That's all I'm asking for. So now let me get back into the screen. 100%, not 80-20, not 50-50, 100% online application process. And if that scares you, that's why some people don't continue past just starting their application, not even dating and signing it, is because of that. And that's just one of the many reasons. So what are the fields? Legal business name, doing business as, that's the DBA. And then if you're not filling in a spot, it's going to, excuse me, the vegetable juice coming back. It's haunting me. Doing business as DBA, your company name. Hey, very quickly, guys. Have you guys watched Ghost Adventures? Maybe heard of it? I hadn't seen the show in a long time, but it was on TV. I could tell from the sound. I wasn't even looking at it. I heard the little intro to the start. Oh, cool. But it almost it really got to me a bit because I hadn't seen something scary in some time. I'm like, oh my goodness. But I ended up watching it and late at night. I'm like, oh. But it scared me a bit. I won't lie, because of what was happening, what was being shown. I'm like, ew, whoa. Anyways, I don't want to get off sidetracked, but that was something cool that I hadn't seen in a long time. Maybe you guys have seen the show or something similar. It may scare you. It might not scare you in the sense of filling out an application, not equal, but it'll show you a red little space here. This says a required field, doing business as, DBA again, your first name. Please put your last name there. Business phone number, email, and not just some business phone number you found from a different business or because you don't want to supply that. That is a very important field. This is a very confidential thing, guys. This isn't going to be sent. What we're not doing here is we're not just sending it to wasteless lenders, going through wasteless underwriters. No. This is the best of the best. Credit range. Here it gives you a range. You may not even have to put just your credit score. And if you've already communicated some of this stuff with me, it's because, again, I'm the mediator. I'm giving you a ballpark. I'm showing you your funding options. Perhaps it's the AC. Perhaps it's a different company. Perhaps it's a direct lender. Perhaps it's this. But there's a reason why you're getting presented that, and you're being told why that's the best thing for you. And if you're not ready now, this is what you can go and do. So credit range, what is it? Average monthly sales, state that. And what I want to say here is, please be honest with your monthly sales. Your average monthly sales, please have it in line. I just had an individual the other day tell me they did like 45, 50,000 in the last month, lowest month. Then they go start their application and I saw like 5,000, 8,000. I'm like, what the? It didn't even change months. I'm like, what's happening here? Are they just trying to game the system? And I had another individual the other day do that. They put a certain amount and then I saw their application appear again and I go, now they're doing this? Whoa. Or maybe they did do it wrong the first time, right? I don't know until I get feedback, until the application goes through and then I find out they got declined for this reason. Very telling. So don't cause any problems like that. Make sure you do it the first time right. Take some time. You can come back, but be thorough. Now, lowest monthly revenue in the last 3 months. That's where you're going to want to put that. Here, let me give you guys what I'm not going to do that. You guys are like, oh, he's going to put in his lowest month. I want to see it. What is he doing? No, I'm not that person. I don't like sharing financial information that way. I don't even like saying what I do. I feel very shy to that as an introvert, and it's just what I was not taught growing up was just to share what you're doing. And when people ask for that, I just don't. It's just unless it were very important. If I were like applying for something, I need to show bank statements and so forth. But my agent name and number should be in that spot. If it is not, I can give it to you in time, as you can kind of see on the screen there, but it should already be auto-filled. And again, the benefits of coming through me and getting business funding is I also give you bonuses. So before I even get into that section, let me open up this screen now to show you how the application process will look like. And I know we've been in here for a good amount of time. Man, too long maybe. But hopefully you guys are getting value out of this. Now, this is what the application page you might have come through, or the how it would look like on the application. So if you're questioning what you're going to be going through, this video alone will tell you everything, and then there's content underneath it. It's taking a second to load, so maybe you can't see it right now, but down here, I even give you the option of click here if you'd like to see the readable version. If you're going through a different application process, this is what it will look like for Bank Breezy, Biddy Advanced. But if I were to click that right there, now you can see the video on screen. You can watch that and or right here, look. I'll show you how this updates. So this, if you guys filled out a questionnaire, should all be in there. So when this opens up, simply I tell you if you need to see it instead of just watching it on video, you can watch both. While you're watching the video, you can go through here and see what you have to enter. But I won't create another video. I already created a separate video on this, so I won't go too specific. It's taking a second to load. So just some things that I covered: business name, first name, last name, credit range, just the front page. And then you're going to go through step 2, pre-qualification funding offer. Great news. Based upon your answers, you will be able to get you funding from this to this. So when people don't continue with their offer, this also stops people from moving through. And reason being, maybe you didn't get what you wanted in between. Maybe you're like, I want 250,000. You're telling me I'm getting 50 to 80,000. Well, maybe you got my questionnaire and you understood what you can get approved for, and then you go into it and you go, oh, okay, this is why Michael told me this. It's about the range. And then there's some people who start the application who then get that pre-qualification offer that's not even set in stone, and they go, well, I wanted 150,000, but they're being shown 74,000 at the most. And then you go, no. And that's why people are not following through. That's only one part of many. So if you're watching this now and you started your application and you're like, well, I wanted 150,000, but I got approved for 74,000 at the most. It's possibly because I didn't explain it to you, or you didn't come through and actually take the time to understand what your approval amount is, or you did not take the time to see my email if it has already been sent to you, or if I'm still taking time to put that email together, you haven't gone through it. But don't let that throw you off. You still have to make some adjustments. And like I said, if you don't get everything you want in one shot, we can get you more. So don't let that part of the application process stop you from moving forward. It can be readjusted. And if it's what you get, it's what you get because of what you're doing in your funding details. Step 3, enter business information. Your name, business phone number, business address, business type. And I've gone through this stuff myself. Business industry, business description, website you can use, social if you don't have a website, the date business started, at least the month, and so forth. So everything is in this email or in this document you guys should go through. So when you get to the step 4 of uploading your documents, upload last month's bank statements, upload 2 months ago's, 3 months ago's, driver's license, voided check, done. If you can't, save it so you don't have to start the application process over. I've had people today who didn't save it, and yeah, they had to start all over again. But one of those actually just got their offer very fast, more than the others. So that says, okay, we have to look through details, ownership information, and then final reviews, and then submit. Then you'll get this message. If not, then you'll get this, save and resume later, how it would look like in the email, more or less. But all of it is in there. All right. So now let me come back to the screen. Let me move this over, and then we're going to close up. So the other services really quickly. I said earlier I was recapping. So up to 25,000 a day, Bank Breezy. 15,000 and below, Bank Breezy. But if you're like mostly 15,000 and above, we can put you in our other category. But over here, let me click this button. 1 second. And again, while I'm doing this, take the time, please, to check the qualifications and requirements. It's very important. I sometimes have to overemphasize to certain individuals that it's nothing wrong. I just want to make sure you guys are taking the time to educate yourself. 5,000 plus a monthly bank revenue for this service. A business checking account, 6+ months in business, and 450 plus FICO credit score. All industries are included. A breezy online process that is very simple and fair. You can get more funds when you need it. As I said earlier. Oh, let me move this over. Sorry. Payment history will earn you more. You get to receive funds time and time again. Add-on funds are available, and you get a personalized account manager to hold you by the hand. So you don't have to feel like a lone wolf doing this all alone, trying to go through, that cold time of the year in the forest. You're on your own trying to find food, and you're just having to push through the snow, and you're very cold because you can't find shelter and so forth. to sit for the night and sleep for. This won't be like that. You're going to have myself, a personalized account manager, our whole underwriter staff, the lenders, the whole relationship you're getting. Need more than 25K? I showed you earlier that one with the up to 2 million. And then you have the line of credit option, which I released a video on a bit today, and I have other pieces of content for. 1 second, there it is. And so you can get right now at the moment between 5,000 to 100,000 in the line of credit. That it's very simple and fast. Receive a decision in a business day and as fast as 1 hour. Required only a soft credit pull, and all these are soft credit pulls. 550 FICO credit score, fueling business growth. We specialize in small business of all types of businesses as well. Better fee structure, way better. If you're looking for a weekly repayment, this is the way to go. You can also get that with our lump sum. If it makes sense, we can try to get you there, starting off with the weekly repayment. If it isn't, it's a daily payment. Monthly, you don't see because of defaults. You don't see that because there's a lot of problems causing that industry. And even if it is a daily payment, think about it. What does my cash flow look like? Does it make sense? Can I move forward with that? Does my repayment look good? It's not all about the rates. It's not all about the terms. Receive an approval up to 100,000. Take the funds out as you need them. Automatic weekly repayments. And then new draws and revolving limit. And you get approved for more here, over like 150 to 200% or so, as opposed to other places where you're going to get, like 40 to 60%, 50 to 150%, and so forth. And that can be readjusted in times. So qualification, it is very simple. 1 year in business. Been in business less than 1 year, try our working capital advance. Anywhere in the US, again, Puerto Rico, Canada, more information, check in the description, it should be already there. 550 plus personal FICO credit score is all we're asking for. However, we want you to do 15,000 and above in monthly revenue. And now there are other programs out there that may be like 20,000 and above. There's another one that just recently launched, but I believe in the one we have here is best and foremost to go through. But I will in time possibly create another video on another line of credit program. But this is the one you want to look at. This is a great one to go through as I'm actually like quickly going through my phone here so I can check the program details on the other one. But it's the same thing, revolving business line of credit up to 55,000. So this one can actually benefit you because you can get up to 100,000. And then 2+ years in business as opposed to this one being a year's plus worth. 550 credit score, similar. You can have at least max 3 existing business loans and so forth. And there's so many more details in there, but this is what I recommend for the most part to get started with. So there's a few details in there. Make sure to watch the video. Now I'm going to conclude here. All right, everybody. We spent, I think, way too much time, right? But you guys got a lot of value from this. I went over the hours time, the 30 minutes, but hopefully you guys got a lot of value from this. You guys should have seen, if those of you guys who watch my live usually or my videos would know that my hair is like usually dry and all over the place. But I guess I wanted to do my hair just to make sure that I'm as presentable to you guys. But a lot has been happening lately. There's been a big shift in different marketplaces in your industry. Things have been changing just recently. Terms, how much can be given for a certain industry and so forth. But again, just know at the end of the day, what we covered today is very truthful. It's in the best interest of yours. Offers on the table, go get started with an application. You guys have all the information, the DAC down below and everything else you guys will need. Startup loans, grants, offers on the table versus no offers on the table, what to expect there. Business loans that are fast versus slow, expectations. I have another video, if I haven't released yet, on business loan interest rates that I'll be coming out with soon. How to increase them, how to lower them. How to fix credit score in a sense, like why that's important to do, how to increase it in a sense. Cleaning it up. Your financials, your funding details, why that's very important, what to do, what are some actions to take. But yeah, that will conclude everything from me in this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. I am kind of tired. I'll take a break maybe and go do my TikTok live. And then I will go ahead and take a break. I'm going to go do a leg workout today. Jump in the tub. I think you guys have heard me say this, but it's a way for me to renew my energy, relax, and come back in the evening or / afternoon where then I will be at my best again and somewhat. So that is everything from me. Appreciate you all for tuning in, and you guys are getting the best knowledge here on this channel as opposed to many others. And we talk about a lot of things. I have a lot of experience in other businesses as well that I can help you guys with in time. Check in the description to get started right away. Get all the resources, start your application, continue the application. If you've saved it, move forward. Have any questions? I will try to answer you guys' emails. I told a few of you guys that after this live, I'm going to do my best to try to get back to you guys, but I have some things going on, so don't expect it right away. And look out for my future content. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I will be coming out with. Leave me any comments if you guys need to voice anything. And you guys have all the information. Yeah. And that will be everything. Yeah, you're welcome, each and every one of you. Thank you, Veronica, for stating that. And let's all have a great Friday tomorrow, rest of our Thursday. Enjoy the weekend if you guys don't hear that much from me. And don't wait to get started. If it's a weekend, get your application going. Get it ready for Monday. When we go in there, we're like, bam, bam, boom, here's your offer. Boom, no accepted. Okay, what do I got to do to go fix it? But if you're waiting and waiting and waiting, hey, it's I don't know. It's on your side of the equation. You only know what you're waiting for. I don't push anybody. So that's it for me. Take care.